Hi, I'm Rita. Welcome back to my booktube channel, Life Worth Reading. Today, I'll be telling you about all of the series that I'm currently reading, trying to hold myself accountable, and I'm asking you to choose which series I should continue on next. I have my little reading journal here with me, and I have my series tracker, and I'm just going to tell you all the series that I'm currently in the middle of, whichever number of book I'm on, and I'm asking you to tell me which ones are worth finishing, which one I should continue on with next, which should I prioritize, which ones should I maybe not prioritize. It is all up to you, and I want to hear your opinions in the comments down below. So without further ado, let's just get started. The first series that I want to talk about is one that I do own physically, and that is the Cemetery of Forgotten Books series by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. He is probably my favorite author ever. He unfortunately passed away in 2020, which is really, really sad. And he wrote the Cemetery of Forgotten Books series that starts with Shadow of the Wind, continues on with The Angel's Game, and then with The Prisoner of Heaven. And finally, the last book is The Labyrinth of Spirits, which I own right here. And I bought this book maybe 2 years ago, and I haven't read it yet because not only is the series finale to what is probably one of my favorite historical fiction and general fiction series ever, but it's also long as fuck. This book is almost 900 pages. It's a tough one to read, and I've just been postponing it. Since then I've reread Shadow of the Wind a lot of times, and I still haven't read this one because I'm just scared to finish the series. I'm just scared because it's so long, but I'm holding myself accountable, and I have to read this one soon. If you've read it, let me know your thoughts. Most people say that it's a very worthy ending of the series that it has, and it is, but have you read it? What are your thoughts on it? Please do let me know, because hype me up, motivate me to read this book anytime soon. Next up, we have a romance series actually, and that is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I read the first book, and I unfortunately didn't love it as much as everyone else did. I'm not really a romance heavy girl. I don't read a lot of romance books. I enjoy them from time to time, but I'm a bit picky about them. And though I did love the representation in The Kiss Quotient, it wasn't my favorite one. I didn't really vibe with it, and so I ended up giving it only 3 stars. But a lot of people say that The Bride Test, which is the second book, is even better than the first one. But then they also say that the last book, The Heart Principle, I think, is the worst one. And so I'm just very unsure whether or not I should continue on with the series. Like I said, I'm not a big romance reader, but I do like a good romance from time to time. I'm just not really sure what tropes I like yet. But yeah, a lot of people say that The Bride Test is really good, and I didn't think that The Kiss Quotient was bad. I'm just unsure whether or not I should continue on with the series. So again, let me know. Have you read The Bride Test and The Heart Principle? What did you think? Should I continue on, not having loved The Kiss Quotient? Let me know. Then we have one that I'm probably gonna get a little bit of hate about, and that is the Book of the Year trilogy by Holly Black. I tried reading this, it wasn't last year, I think it was 2020. And listen, I didn't really dislike it that much. The Cruel Prince was, I think, a 2.5, rounded up to a 3, I think. And then The Wicked King, I did enjoy. It was like a 3.5. And then I just never read The Queen of Nothing, which I probably could because it's a very short one. But I don't love it like all the other people do. There are some hardcore fans of the series, and I'm not one of them. But it does bother me that I haven't read the last one. I think The Wicked King will be the best one in the trilogy, which is rare for a second book. But I did really like the intrigue in that one. And I don't know if The Queen of Nothing will follow up on it. And also, I don't remember anything, so I'll probably have to reread the whole trilogy. I'm thinking that if I do end up reading The Queen of Nothing, if you can motivate me to read that, I'll probably do a reread of the series, probably like a 24-hour reading vlog or something like that, and I'll just reread it and finish the trilogy. But if you tell me that it's not worth it, I probably won't ever read it because I don't remember anything. It's just not worth for me to invest the time in finishing a book in a series that I don't quite remember. So that probably depends on what you guys think, because yeah, the Cruel Prince trilogy is just, I just didn't think it was for me, but maybe it is. I don't know. Next up, we have a series that I am most definitely, like, I'm gonna say 90% sure that I'm not continuing on, but it's a very popular series, so I thought I would mention it as well, and that is An Ember in the Ashes Quartet by Sabaa Tahir. I liked An Ember in the Ashes well enough. I gave it 4 stars. I thought, I don't really like our main character, Lara? No, it's not Lara. Oh my god, I don't remember her name. Leia, and Elias, that's it. Okay, so I didn't like Leia. I thought she was a very annoying main character, I'm not gonna lie. I liked Elias well enough, even though he was stuck in the good guy trope. And I liked the first book, right? It was a good book. I thought it set up the series quite nicely. I liked the trial elements of it, the brutality. But then the second book, I give it 2 stars. A Torch Against the Night was, in my opinion, a bad sequel. I didn't like it. It had all of the things that I didn't like in the first book. The only character that I liked was Helen. I know I'm gonna get hate for this because Ellen is supposed to be a villain. I don't buy it. Helen was a baddie, okay? She and Elias served friendship to enemies and what I would hope is lovers next. They are the mold, okay? Leia had nothing on Helen. And I'm sure I'm not gonna finish it because I dislike A Torch Against the Night so much. And if there was only one book, like if it's a trilogy, I might finish it. Just out of curiosity, but it's another 2 books. And a lot of people didn't like the last one. I don't know. Let me know your opinions on it. If you don't agree with me, I get it because a lot of people love this entire quartet, but it really just was not for me. It was not for me. I did not like it. So that sequel kind of ruined the whole series for me, and I don't consider myself, I just don't consider that I'll be able to finish it. I don't see it in my future, but maybe you can change my mind. Probably not, but maybe. Moving on, we have the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan now. Everyone loves this one, right? I've only read the first book. I read The Lightning Thief. I think it's one of the first books that I read either in 2020. Yeah, I think it was in 2020. And I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Listen, I didn't have the nostalgia that I probably had to have to give it 5 stars. It's a very well constructed book. It had some little annoying things throughout it, but a lot of YA or middle grade books have that. So, you know, it wasn't for me. I wasn't supposed to be a 21-year-old lady when I read this book. That was made for 12 and 13-year-olds. But that being said, it doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. I gave 4 stars. I thought it was solid, but I just haven't continued on with the series yet because, yeah, I lack that nostalgia factor. But maybe now that the series is going to come out next year, I think. Is it 2023? I think so. Maybe I need to finish the rest. I know that there are 5 books, so that means I have 4 books that I still need to read to complete the series. But maybe I can do that. I don't know. Is it worth it for someone that doesn't have that nostalgic factor? Is it worth it for me to read this as an almost 23-year-old? Like, does it give what it's supposed to give, or do people just love it because they grew up reading them? That is my question. Also, randomly, it was just announced that another book is going to come out, like a real Percy Jackson book that is going to be like the 6th in this series that Rick Riordan has been done with for years. He's going to publish a new one. So either that motivates me more or motivates me less, because if that book does come out, it's going to be 5 books that I need to read instead of 4. Much to think about. I'll be thinking about it, but you're going to tell me your opinion on it, please. Next up, we have The Legendborn Cycle by Tracy Deonn. The second book, Bloodmark, is about to come out later on in November, I think. And this is not even a question. I'm definitely reading it. Legendborn wasn't all that for me. It wasn't 5 stars, but I really, really, really liked it. Some of the elements, like King Arthur shit, was a little bit confusing for me, a brainless girl that knew nothing about King Arthur. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. I loved the drama. Selwyn, Nick, Bree, they all have my heart, and I'm really, really excited for this sequel. So this isn't even a debate, but yeah, I'm definitely reading it, and I'm very excited to see how this duology is going to play out. I think it's going to be a duology, unless Tracy Dion pulls a surprise and publishes another one, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be a duology, so I'm really excited to see how this one plays out, because the first book was definitely interesting, and the second book, Bloodmark, it's going to be big. Like, I've seen arcs of it, and it's a chunky book, so I feel like a lot is going to happen. Next up, we have the Graceling Realm Quartet by Christine Kishore. I read Graceling last year, and weirdly, I really liked it. Like, nothing happened in that damn book, and I still really liked it. I gave it 4 stars, but it was just like an enjoyable reading experience. It didn't leave a lasting impression on me. It wasn't the best thing I've ever read, but it was just a good time when I read it when I needed to read it. You know what I mean? So it was a good experience, and now I'm just wondering if I should continue on with the series, because the Graceling Realm series, the books have nothing to do with each other, except the third one that has a character from the first one, but other than that, they're all very like same universe, different character vibes, and so I am unsure. A lot of people say that they liked Fire, the second book, and then we have Bitter Blue, and then another one that I don't remember, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I should, because I'm not sure if Graceling was just a right timing, right book kind of situation, and not something that I'm definitely going to love, because it didn't leave a lasting impression on me. I just remembered it being a good time. But let me know what you think. Did you read the Graceling Quartet? Did you like it? Because I know that the last book came out recently, so she is doing that. Christine Kishore is still writing in the series, and I don't know if I should continue on or not. This is one that I've been thinking about for a while now. Then we have another duology that I'm definitely finishing. I need to pick this book up. I need to pick up the sequel, and that is Between Earth and Sky by Rebecca Roanhurst, aka Black Sun and Favorite Star. I loved Black Sun. It was one of my first like dives into adult fantasy novels, because I usually only read YA fantasy, because I thought that adult fantasy was still a little bit too broad and complex for me. Zarapio, Ziala, it was a good time, okay? And Favorite Star came out this year, and I still haven't read it. Like, what am I doing? I need to pick this book up, but I am lacking the motivation at the moment to do so. But I do, because it is another finish to a duology. It was a great first book, so what am I waiting on to read the second one? I don't know. Then we have another duology, and that is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I liked the first book. I gave it 3.5, rounded up to a 4-star. It was a good time. Again, some elements I didn't love, but that happens all the time. Like, not every book is a 5-star, and that's completely okay. But the second book, Our Violet Ends, came out, I think last year, or was it this year? No, it was last year, and I haven't read it yet because it is very long, and I am curious to see what happens, but I also don't remember enough from the first one. I need to go read what happened on This Violet Delights, because I really just don't remember. I don't remember at all, and I can't go into the sequel not remembering the first book. So that is just a book that I will be reading, but I just don't know when. But at the same time, I kind of want to finish the duology like this year still, so I'll probably read it in the last couple of months of the year. But yeah, I haven't had the greatest motivation to read This Violent Delights and Our Violet Ends, but I don't know. Did you read it? Did you like it? Because a lot of people liked the first one and then didn't like the second book, but also a lot of people didn't like the first one but liked the second one, so I'm just very unsure if it's worth a read or not. Next up, we have the Raven Cycle series by Maggie Stiefvater. Last May, I did a 24-hour readathon where I tried reading all 4 of the Raven Cycle books. Obviously, that didn't happen. Like, what was I thinking? Thinking that I could read 4 books in one day. But I, not only in that vlog, like in the next couple of weeks, I got to the first 3 books, and then I never read The Raven King, and I still have the whole quartet. And quite honestly, the reason that I've been putting this one off is because I feel like I wanna reread all of the series, because since I was trying to read it in like a 24-hour reading vlog, and I was like putting so much pressure on myself to finish this entire series, I don't feel like I absorbed the books well enough. I didn't really get to know these characters, and therefore I no longer really remember what happened and their journey throughout the series. That's why I've been putting off reading this one, because I feel like I do want to reread the series. Maybe make a dedicated vlog again, not a 24-hour one, but a dedicated vlog of me rereading this and finally finishing off the series, because I feel it just feels incomplete, right? Like, I've read 3 books, I haven't read this one, I need to finish it, right? But I also don't remember what happened in the first 3, so I need to get on that. Then we have one that I'm probably also not going to continue on, and that is the Lake Witch trilogy by Stephen Graham Jones. You might have seen My Heart is a Chainsaw last year. It came out. It is a horror novel. I've also read The Only Good Indians by this author, and I liked it. It was a 3-star. But My Heart is a Chainsaw really let me down. It was a very, very, very confusing book. I liked our main character. I really liked her voice. She's like this teenager that's really obsessed with slashers, and she thinks that a slasher is coming to her small town, and she's assigning roles to everyone. It was a very interesting book in that dynamic, in that character being the way she was, but the actual horror in it I didn't vibe with. It was very confusing. The action scenes, I listened to it on audiobook, and there was a lot of times that I was just thinking, what the hell is going on? I can't tell who is doing what, who is being murdered. It was very, very confusing. And then there are like these parallel stories going on, and there's paranormal stuff, and there's also real life horror, and it was a very confusing experience for me. I gave it 2.5, and I don't see myself reading the rest of this trilogy, and I honestly don't know how he's going to make a trilogy out of this story, which is why I'm a little bit curious to read the second book when it does come out. But at the same time, it just wasn't a very pleasant reading experience for me, and I don't think I'm going to continue on. But if you're looking for a horror series, maybe give this one a try. Maybe you'll enjoy it more than I did, because I didn't really vibe with it. Okay, we are almost done, people. Next up, The King of Scars Zoology by Leigh Bardugo. I did not like King of Scars. I gave it 3 stars. Leigh Bardugo really let me down with that one, and so I unhauled Rule of Wolves. If I'm going to read it, I'm going to read it as an ebook. I no longer wanted the physical book, and I'm so unsure if I should read it or not, because I really, really, really didn't like King of Scars. I thought it was so disappointing as a Nikolai story, as a Zoya story. It was just very, very disappointing to me. And I just don't see myself liking Rule of Wolves. But if you've read it and you think I might like it, if it was better than the first book, do let me know, because I love Leigh Bardugo's writing. I just didn't like the story and where it went. And yeah, I just found it to be disappointing as a Leigh Bardugo book, because I'm used to so much more from her. But if you tell me that the second book is better than the first one, I might read it, because I know it has some very emotional stuff in it. I know characters die. I don't know who, but I know the characters die, and I feel like I am missing out, but at the same time, I didn't like King of Scars. So let me know what you think. Then we have Kingdom of the Wicked series by Karen Maniscalco. This is a trilogy, and I only have the first one here, and that's the only one that I have read. But unfortunately, I will be continuing on, because I did like this one. And my friend Kitty over at Spicy Cats has just read the second and third book, and they really liked the last book. And it got me excited, because this is a messy book, and I know a lot of people didn't like this series, but sometimes I do like things that other people don't like, and sometimes I don't like things that other people like. Because that's just what happens sometimes. And therefore, I am excited to get to the rest of the series. I think that the second book is going to be a little bit of a dud, but I think that the third one is really gonna kick it off, and I will be getting to it. Next up, Finlay Donovan by Alka Samano. Loved the first book, didn't like the second book, will be reading the third book. That's all you need to know. Finlay Donovan is a really good time. The first book was amazing. The second book, a flop in my opinion, but I'm ready for the third one. and I'm ready for Akasmana to bring back everything that I loved about the first one. Then we have the Poppy War trilogy by R.F. Kuang. I read the first one, I liked it, I haven't continued on. It's a very complex and heavy trilogy. It takes a lot out of me to read these damn books, and I haven't continued on, but I will. I promise I will. I don't know when I see myself reading the Dragon Republic, but I know that I'll get to it eventually. My friend Jess has moved on from the series. She has read all of them. We're supposed to better read them. She is light years ahead of me, and she did well, because if she was reading around for me, we would never finish this series. I need to get to it very, very soon. Then we have Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. I really, really liked the first one. I read it from the library. I really, really liked it. And I'm just waiting on to read the rest of the trilogy, but I can't wait too long because then I'll forget what happened. So I need to get to it. And this is a series that, in my opinion, is very underrated. It's not a very popular series at the moment, so I don't really have that motivation. If people are talking about this one, I need to get to it. But I have my own motivation, that is, I liked the first book and I need to get to the other ones, right? So that's what I need to do, and that's what I am going to do very soon. And finally, we have The Adventures of the Athena Club by Theodore Goss. I have read the first and second book. I have finished the second book in my latest vlog, so if you want to go watch my review of it. And now the only one that I'm missing is The Sinister Mystery of the Memorizing Girl, which is the third and last book in this trilogy, and I'll be reading it this year for sure, because I'm so invested in the series. I love it so much that I'm definitely going to finish, and I'm very, very happy about it, because I think it's going to be one of my all-time favorite series. I'm not sure. Let's see if the last book lets me down or not. I hope not, because this is just such a good time, such a good wholesome time. I love found family. We love to see it. Also, there are some other duologies that I have started in the past couple of years that I'm definitely not going to finish. For example, Vicious by V.E. Schwab, This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. These are all duologies, like YA fantasies, that I've started. I'm definitely not going to finish, and therefore I didn't really think they were worth mentioning in this video, but I am aware that these are not all of the series that I'm currently in the middle of. There are some more, but those one I'm definitely not going to finish, so they weren't really worth mentioning. Okay, it's done. I'm done. You're done. If you've watched till the end of this video, you're a real one, because I know that I rambled a lot, and I'm sorry about that. But yeah, these are all the series that I'm currently in the middle of. Some books I'm only in the first one, some books I'm closer to finishing. But again, I want you to let me know which ones should I prioritize, which ones should I read next, which ones are worth me continuing on, because these are too many, and I'm going to start a lot more series soon, and I need to do a little review of all the series that I'm reading so I can prioritize some and maybe not finish other ones. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content, and I'll see you in my next video. I hope you have a nice day, and always remember that life is worth reading.